So a costume illustrator is, I guess, at the forefront of the conceptual side of what the costume designer does. So we take their vision, their initial vision of the character, and then we transcribe that into illustration form so that they can sell their ideas. Traditionally, a costume illustrator would take, an initial sketch from the costume designer and just kind of make it, like, bump it up, make it look better, or draw it, to a standard to where it could sell the idea. And that is still the case today, but now we also do conceptual stuff. So we are taking mood boards, we are taking different character sheets from the costume designer, all with their direction, and then conceptualizing them in a way using 3D technology or Photoshop to sell the idea more substantially. I kind of fell into it. I went to Comic-Con and I saw a panel of costume designers. I think Juliana was there, Juliana McCoskey, Isis Musinden, and a few others. And they looked at my portfolio and encouraged me to join. And my teacher, Robin Richardson, who's also a costume illustrator, encouraged me to join as well. So then from there, I joined and I got hired from Sonia Hayes a month after I joined, and I've been working ever since. So my process with the designer is I usually try to read the script if I can. And then from there, once I kind of know what's going on, the designer will sit down with me and show me their mood boards or any kind of character reference that they have, their initial feedback and ideas of every character. And then from there, I also pull reference myself to show them things that I'm excited about or inspired by, and we go back and forth. And then I start to draw. So I just try to figure out each character piece by piece. I might do something simple like a line drawing, or I might do a silhouette drawing, which is just about shape. And then we kind of build it up. So we go general to specific. So it's very much like, painting, like very, traditional. The techniques that the illustrators are using now are very broad, and we have a scope of styles and ranges of techniques that we can use to accomplish the goal. So it's whatever gets the job done. So we have a working sketch, which can be a very quick pencil sketch, just something to get the idea down, all the way up into then using Photoshop to scan in fabrics or take pictures or kind of do like a photo collage. And then you get to the high-tech stuff where you're using ZBrush to do full-blown sculpts, or you've got scans of the actor, and then we're sculpting directly onto their body. So that's a lot of the specialty stuff. So you can go from doing an evening gown to doing a superhero suit. And we have a broad range of skills to accomplish that goal. The superhero genre is tricky because it's a lot of specialty costume. There's a lot of different issues with trying to put a superhero suit onto a technical body, right? So they want to be able to see what those things are going to look like and sell them to the studio beforehand. So the illustrator comes in to basically kind of help the costume designer visualize that, but also get as specific as they can. So that's down to the texture, that's down to which seams go where, at least in the initial conceptual form. It's going to change when it gets onto the body because the body's a different animal. But at least in selling that idea, the illustrator does help the costume designer to at least be able to get that initial pitch forward. In order to get approvals, the details in the sketch are very important because it's going to go to a bunch of different people. So it's going to go to the director, it's going to go to the producers, it might go to the head of the studio. So it has to be as specific as it can and show as much information as possible in order to sell that idea that the costume designer is trying to get across. So that process has gotten a lot more technical, a lot more specific in terms of what is expected to show in order to get an approved design. And then, of course, then the sketch that we do also has to trickle down the line to everyone that's making the costume. So it goes to director, producer, gets approved, then comes back, then it goes to cutter, fitter, ager, dyer. It goes all the way around. So I think that sketch, trying to be as specific as you can, really helps the process, especially the designer when we're long gone, they still have something and they know exactly what it's gonna look like. Recently, I did some sketches for Ellen Moroznik on The Greatest Showman that I'm really proud of because she pushed me into really challenging, my artistic process and making sure that I was doing something that felt impressionistic and traditional, but I still was able to use digital. And so I did a lot of those sketches on my iPad, which was really a game changer for me. And then from there, the job that's thrown me off the most in the best way possible has been working with Phillip on the Madonna tour. I've done 3 now. Each time we go to New York for about 3 months. I'm drawing, Madonna, all her dancers, various different costume changes, and there's 4 different acts. And Ariane's really good at kind of pushing that envelope in design, but then also kind of accommodating the needs of the show. And that's been really fun to learn and to see. I think the designer I've learned the most from would probably be Jeffrey Kurland. He's really mentored me and shown me a lot of different things, including the technical terms of everything. He knows a lot about costume and his knowledge is very vast. I travel a lot, so I go and talk to students all over the United States, specifically locally. But I did, the last 2 years, I've done the Mosaic Film Experience, which is a film festival in Grand Rapids, Michigan, run by Scott Welch. So I'll fly out there, I speak to inner city youth, Black and Latino students primarily, about my job to show them that there are other avenues for them to explore. But I do that at FITM, I go to Otis. I'll just go and talk to any of the students that want to kind of gain the knowledge of costume illustration and maybe pursue it as a career. I think for me, it's been very rewarding being a part of the Costume Designers Guild. As an illustrator, I've learned a lot more than I think I ever would have thought I was going to learn about costume. I've always been a person that's enjoyed drawing people, but I think costume taught me about character and how to draw characters. And I think that that's a really important thing for anyone wanting to pursue this, is knowing that you're learning about character and costume and how to translate those things to screen. My name is Phillip Boutte Jr., and I am a costume illustrator in the Costume Designers Guild, Local 892.